In contemplating the multidisciplinary life, my journey has often led me to deep reflections on nature. Increasingly, I find myself thinking about the idea of a homestead. A homestead under the Florida Constitution includes property up to 1/2 acre in a city or up to 160 acres in unincorporated areas. I often imagine building a home that is in harmony with nature, such as a geodesic dome or an earthship, built with my own hands, harnessing rainwater and the energy of the sun. A mortgage-free home paid in cash, built with my own two hands, that would stand in revolutionary defiance to the idea of a borrowed and flip-flopped home, such as the properties which have been so popular throughout my generation and so troublesome. Of course, the amount of cash required to purchase a property like this is a substantial obstacle to this American dream. Emerson says, study nature. And maybe if I take some time and walk around the pond outside my office, that will be enough to keep the embers of my American dream alive for another day. The first in time and the first in importance of the influences upon the mind is that of nature. Every day the sun, and after sunset night and her stars. Ever the winds blow, ever the grass grows. Every day men and women conversing, beholding and beholden. The scholar is he of all men whom this spectacle most engages. He must settle its value in his mind. What is nature to him? There is never a beginning. There is never an end to the inexplicable continuity of this web of God, but always circular power returning into itself. Therein it resembles his own spirit, whose beginning, whose ending he can never find. So entire, so boundless. Far too, as her splendors shine, system on system, shooting like rays upward, downward, without center, without circumference, in the mass and in the particle, nature hastens to render account of herself to the mind. Classification begins. To the young mind, everything is individual, stands by itself. By and by, it finds how to join two things and see in them one nature, then three, then 3,000, and so, tyrannized over by its own unifying instinct, it goes on tying things together, diminishing anomalies, discovering roots running underground, whereby contrary and remote things cohere and flower out from one stem. It presently learns that since the dawn of history, there has been a constant accumulation and classifying of facts. But what is classification but the perceiving that these objects are not chaotic and are not foreign, but have a law, which is also a law of the human mind? The astronomer discovers that geometry, a pure abstraction of the human mind, is the measure of planetary motion. The chemist finds proportions and intelligible method throughout matter. And science is nothing but the finding of analogy, identity, in the most remote parts. The ambitious soul sits down before each refractory fact, one after another, reduces all strange constitutions, all new powers, to their class and their law, and goes on forever to animate the last fiber of organization, the outskirts of nature, by insight. Thus to him, to this schoolboy under the bending dome of day, is suggested that he and it proceed from one root. One is leaf and one is flower, relation, sympathy stirring in every vein. And what is that root? Is not that the soul of his soul? A thought too bold, a dream too wild. Yet when this spiritual light shall have revealed the law of more earthly natures, when he has learned to worship the soul, and see that the natural philosophy that now is only the first gropings of its gigantic hand, he shall look forward to an ever-expanding knowledge as to a becoming creator. He shall see that nature is the opposite of the soul, answering to it part for part. One is seal, and one is print. Its beauty is the beauty of his own mind. Its laws are the laws of his own mind. Nature then becomes to him the measure of his attainments. So much of nature as he is ignorant of, so much of his own mind does he not yet possess. And in fine, the ancient precept, know thyself, and the modern precept, study nature, become at last one maxim.